Hi everyone, Benji Uyama here with the Blessing and Family Ministry. Welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to be tackling a very slippery question about attraction in the matching process. And before I get started, I just want to say thank you everyone who's been supporting these videos that I've been producing. This one is definitely, I promise, going to be a little shorter. And I just want to tackle this question because this is actually something that comes up very much in a matching process when folks are talking about communicating about with a potential matching partner. And sometimes they'll come to a matching supporter or myself or their parents and say, this everything's going well in this process. It's going great. We agree on a lot of things. We have very similar values and faith and belief systems, but I just don't feel this kind of attraction to this person, right? So it's a really good question. And the reason that this is kind of a slippery topic is because on one side of the spectrum, how important is attraction? And also, how far do you go to say that it's the most important thing in a relationship, right? And in a matching process? Because the conventional wisdom or the cultural societal view on relationships in general is that attraction is what fuels a relationship and a successful marriage. But in this video, I want to talk about why is it that attraction is maybe the way that we're looking at it conventionally or culturally is not the healthiest approach to attraction, and some other things that are actually more important to focus on when you're in a matching process. Okay, so for example, myself in my blessing, when we were blessed with my wife, I was, to be honest, I'm kind of embarrassed to say that I had certain kind of expectations or hopes for my wife to act a certain way or to speak a certain way or to dress a certain way or to kind of put her hair in a certain way, because I felt like that was what was attractive to me. But I realized, and I'm glad I realized this early on in our blessing, is that I was putting a lot of my own personal expectations and hopes for her based on my misconceptions. To be perfectly frank, my misconceptions about what attraction actually is. And this is the key that I want to get to, is that attraction in itself is obviously a very vital point to our humanity. It is something that is given to us by God. It's a natural occurrence that we experience as humans. We all experience it to some degree. And so it's not fair to say that that's just like selfish and wrong, and attraction is nothing. Like, no, attraction is there for a reason. It's what fuels us to want to be in a relationship, to be married, to have children, have a family. And so it's important. So we have to give validity to that. But at the same time, what my experience is and what I've been experiencing talking with folks through young folks who are in a matching process, is that most of us do have skewed understandings of what attraction is, that is based on a overstimulated and a hypersexualized culture that we grew up in. For myself as an individual, speaking as an American who grew up in America, I know America is not the only country in the world that is, in my opinion, very hypersexualized and oversexualized, to the point where many of us are desensitized to what actual attraction is in a person. We tend to feel like, like the Instagram standard of what attraction is. They have to dress a certain way. They have to wear a certain kind of clothing. They have to have a certain kind of facial structure, a certain hairstyle. This goes for men and women, by the way, no doubt. And so my misconception of what women should be like or is attractive was skewed by my upbringing in a culture where we value and we look up to idols and models and celebrities and etc. So it's a very unhealthy approach when you're going into a relationship to have these high expectations and to realize that we have a certain level of a skewed mindset when it comes to what attraction really is. And the key here is to realize that we don't really know what attraction is, and to listen to our hearts for what really is attractive and get rid of any flawed thinking about what a person should be like, should act like, should look like. And an example of this and how this works in real life is that the vast majority of people going through the matching process have had an addiction to pornography, a porn habit, which very much skews and, as you can imagine, rewires our brain to think that a certain specific kind of person or a specific kind of look or body type or a shape or ethnicity is the ideal standard of what attraction is. And so that constant overstimulation and overconsumption of pornography over a very long period of time will undoubtedly affect what you believe is attractive when you go into a matching process. There's no doubt. So the key here is that when I was going through preparing for Matching and Blessing, I really had to dig deep and get rid of my porn habit and my skewed mentality and mindset about what attraction was through my exposure to pornography. And this is not just pornography. It's really the overall over-sexualization of our culture, where we feel like someone is attractive when I don't want to get into examples, but like if you're a little overweight or if you look like this or whatever, you're not attractive. But the more you kind of rewire your brain to what is, the more I was able to do that and get off my porn habit and really start to kind of do a hard reset on my mind in every sense. I was able to start seeing women attractively in a very different lens. One example I'll share, honestly, like one time I went to Las Vegas for a workshop, right? And, if you go to Las Vegas in an airplane, there's all kinds of folks going to Las Vegas. A lot of them are very attractive, kind of people, attractive, superficially speaking. And I was just observing this, and I realized like I've kind of, over time, I've become less and less interested in a certain type of the kind of Instagram standard of attractiveness, and I've become way more attractive. And I was just looking around, and I was like I don't like that specific kind of person, like that kind of wears like too much this or too, like is just revealing too much. Like I just have gotten used to, I don't like that anymore. And then I was seeing like this mom, right? I was looking around the airplane. There was this mom with like 3 or 4 kids, and she was alone, and she was just like laughing and having a good time with her kids, right? And she wasn't stressed out like I know I would be on a plane with a bunch of my kids. And she was just like laughing with them, and they were getting their seats and putting their luggage away. And I was like that is so cool. Like that's the most like genuinely like attract, and I can say that with confidence because I think that's genuine attraction to me. It's like someone who just embraces their like motherliness or their fatherliness, and they just are very nurturing. Someone who really takes care of people, takes care of their family, and loves their family. Like those qualities that are, if you're thinking about this in terms of the matching process and is attraction really that important to you, I think it absolutely is. And there is potential for you to be attracted to anybody, because at the end of the day, every single person has attractive qualities, qualities that were innately given to them by God that are by definition attractive and beautiful and should be celebrated, right? A woman who loves children, or a man who loves their family and spends quality time with their family and stands up for what they believe in. Like the list goes on and on. This is just, and it's not a set specific kind of like this is attractive, this is not attractive. Like ask yourself, like, what is attractive to you? What is your instincts? Your innate goodness think about this person, and what is attractive about that person, putting aside like how tall they are and all that kind of thing, which might be important to some of us. But before even going there, like when you're talking to someone, before even letting yourself go to the more short-term attractiveness, or things that you might find attractive now, and over time it just kind of gets annoying. Like I love the beard now, and then 6 months down the road you're like, that's kind of gross, I wish he would shave it, right? Things like that, or their weight, or things that fluctuate. But think about qualities that really affect your relationship long term into the future, qualities that they have that are really eternal and value based, their belief system, what is important to them, how do they really show up in real life, how do they really treat people at home, how do they really express themselves to their family members when people are not watching, what do they do with their time, when no one's watching and they're just bored, right? Things that like affect a relationship. What kind of habits do they have? So in terms of like attractiveness, or externally speaking, it's not important, but attractiveness for an internal reasons and internal value-based qualities are absolutely important, I believe, and is something that is innately given to us by God, that sense of attraction, that we want to pursue somebody because we want to spend our life with them and we want to raise a family with them, right? So I hope this video was helpful about attraction. It's a really kind of a slippery, taboo topic, I know, in the matching process, but it's important to consider because a lot of folks do feel a little stuck. Like I feel like I should be attracted to this person, but I'm not really. And when people have said to that, especially men, I always ask them, like, first of all, do you have a pornography problem? Most of the time, the answer is, yeah, I'm still dealing with a porn habit, which I say, okay, well, you got to work on that because your mind, what is attractive to you is completely wrong about what a true attraction is, right? And also, if you had to ask yourself, like, what do I really think is attractive to me in the most instinctive and beautiful sense, and being able to see that in everybody, right? We should be able to see those qualities in everybody, not in a romantic way, but as a brother and sister way. Before we even get to being in a relationship or blessed, it's like we have to be able to see those God-given qualities in each individual that we interact with. And it does not matter what they look like externally, or what language they speak, or whatever, or where they're from, or how much money they have in the bank. First and foremost, we have to be able to see their value as a child of God, as a human being, their human value. And then after that, we can consider other things. We can talk about things, but we should really treat every single person with the amount of respect and validation that they deserve, that's given to them by God, our Heavenly Parent, right? Okay, thanks for watching. If this video is helpful, please share it with somebody that you love, somebody that you want to share this message with. And yeah, thank you very much. God bless.